Manish asked me to come here and share my experiences. Well, I'm not in my best of mood today because of Mr. Vajpayee's going away. In fact, I had seen him from very close quarters when I was the CEO of Indo-Sri Lankan joint venture in Sri Lanka, and he came as the Prime Minister to Sri Lanka, and I was very close to the High Commissioner. So High Commissioner called me in his residence and said Vajpayee ji has come. So I went and we sat across chairs, and he introduced me. And then I'm nobody. I'm Prime Minister of India, and the way he received me, the way he talked to me, and not for 1 or 2 minutes, but 15-20 minutes, I was really floored. I mean, he's a man, a great man, a great statesman, a great orator, and he said that, I still remember, he said that, he blessed me and he said that, एक चीज याद रखना, तुम इंडिया से आए हो, इंडिया का मान सम्मान ऊपर करना. That's the only thing he had his mind, that please do that. So I really felt extremely sad yesterday. All of you are, but since I have seen him and talked to him for about 15-20 minutes, I feel so bad, and so that's why I told Manishji, will it happen today or not, because I'm not in really a good mood. But then he said, no, it's been fixed up. Anyway, we'll start. So, basically, I'm also quite privileged and highly privileged to talk to in front of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs I really respect because they are the people who drive the industry. Without them the industry cannot move. So entrepreneurs I really respect, and I feel that they are the group of people who is giving employment to so many people. They are seeing their own business at the same time. They are pushing the whole group together. Now, entrepreneurs and innovators have the same kind of phase of mind. It's not coming into it.
Yep, after weeks.
Entrepreneurs and innovators have the similar kind of frame of mind. The same kind of qualities. If you see, you have courage, you require dogged determination, you have self-confidence, what is required, you also have never to back out. That means whatever you think, you plan, don't back out from there. That's the kind of mindset entrepreneurs have. One-track mind, and how to build and how to be successful in business. Courage to take risks. All of you know this man?
Yeah,
Now he built Amazon from a small online bookseller to a huge thing, became world's richest man, basically, right? And he sells everything. Anything Amazon, you want anything, oh, write it in Amazon, you get it. So he sells everything, what you can see. He said once in an interview, the mindset of entrepreneur is like this, that it's got a divine discontent. That means anything, oh, is fine. No, they feel that everything can be improved, everything can be done better than what it is, right? How can you make something better? Entrepreneurs and innovators are pretty closely coupled. Like innovators are also constantly thinking. You constantly think as your business. Similarly, innovators also does the same. I'm kind inured to this, but just because I'm used to it doesn't mean that it cannot be improved. I'm attached to it, but can be improved. Okay? Entrepreneurs also benefit greatly from being willing to fail and willing to learn, willing to experiment. Stubborn on the vision, but flexible on the details. Passion for the mission. The very best products and services are always built by visionaries. Such people wake up in the morning, right, thinking about that idea, and when they sleep, when they go to sleep, they are about thinking about the same idea. R&D, well, out of my total career about more than 42 years, almost about 18-20 years had been in R&D. Research and Development, Engineering Research and Development. I joined the Engineering Research Center of Telco, Tata Motors those days. Now, R&D is a thing where you have to be absolutely devoted. If you think you have to do something, you have to always think throughout, even the night you think, you dream about the thing. So I've done a lot of R&D work in my life, and this particular website gives all my work as I got the thing as a challenge as an engineer and how it was solved. Right? So there were a number of them, but I'll just go through some of them just to tell what it is. Solving the valve piston pump stamping problem for 1210D vehicle. This Tata 1210D was an engine which was developed much better than the German engine with a 12% more power and 15% less fuel consumption. But the engine has a big problem. The valve and piston were getting stamped and engine was getting destroyed totally. 7-8% roughly. And nowadays we talk of 6 sigma and all that, and 7-8% you can imagine is a big problem. So they tried for about a year. They couldn't do anything to it. And I joined them in 71 as a postgraduate training. And for 1 year they tried. 70 they put up the model. And then 1 year had passed, they couldn't do anything. Now I could solve the problem. Those days, those laptop, desktops, these were not there. I'm an engineer with the slide rule. Today's engineers have not seen slide rules, right? And in fact, when I did my engineering, even calculators were not there. Okay, so you can imagine that from that to develop and to do a complicated engineering problem. Of course, those days I worked on Fortran on a big computer. You've got a big computer, so you must have seen old. So it was solved. I will go fast, otherwise I will not be able to finish it. There are not of this thing. They are solving the magnetic clutch problem of the Tata P&H, which could not be solved even P&H USA. P&H USA had they had a collaboration with Tata, and they introduced the magnetic clutch into the machine. And the machine was failing, going in 1 in 10 slope, going up to 30 feet, 35 feet, and the machine pumped off. It was not moving at all, right? Tata here could not do anything. P&H USA couldn't do anything. Chairman that time thought, chairman was Mulgaonkar those days, and he thought of closing down the model, like he thought about the 1210D, that engine model. Then he suddenly remembered about me, and I was a small young engineer those days. I'm a very unknown person, but chairman knew me those days because I solved the Tata truck problem, and so he had put me to a problem solving cell of Tata under the ERC. So he told my boss that give it to Roy and let me see if he can do something on it. By God's grace, I could solve the problem. And in Goa, they had put 2 machines. One machine was totally imported P&H USA machine. Another was Tata P&H with my magnetic clutch, developed clutch, which I had done. And the USA machine went about 30-35 feet and stopped. My machine went 500 feet and it's still moving. And that's why Tata actually, what they did, they followed. They worked with that design for long, about 25 years, till the model became a hydraulic model. Nowadays all our excavators are hydraulic. So it got changed. Anneal stainless steel wire polishing machine, again developed first time in India. Those days India was importing stainless steel wire from Sweden and other places. And this particular wire in India, I was in Usha Martin those days, and they used to produce stainless steel wire, but it was dull. You know, when you do this thing annealing, it becomes a dull finish. Whereas they wanted a polished stainless steel wire. So that was solved. Story is big actually, I won't want to go. This is the story of the polishing. This is the way I first thought I would work out. This is the way I solved the machine. This is the automatic layer binding machine, again developed first time in India. People used to do by hand layering. I did it totally with servo motor control automatic layering machine. Hot offset testing for Usha Martin rod mill. Induction heating is the first induction heater, is an electrical job. I am a mechanical engineer, but all electrical engineers put their hands up. GEC, Siemens, AEI, they said no, technology has not come in India, we can't do it. Okay. Then my boss told me, Arun, you should try. I said, look sir, I am a mechanical engineer. Forget about it. You are an R&D man. If you want to do it, and yes sir, I will take a challenge. And I did the first, this is the first induction heater of India. This was developed. 500 ton wire rope pre-stretching plant. That's a huge plant which was put up. This is a long 300 meters long. Hydraulic fatigue testing machine developed first time in India. Then there is a fatigue testing machine for overhead crimping tool. Hydraulic coil compacting machine for Usha Martin rod mill. This is the second Hooghly Bridge in Calcutta. My designs are there in the sockets which is there at the down and the top of the thing. Those designs were made those days and it was sent to Germany, it was vetted, and then only HRBC they got the order for that bridge. Then we did several projects because the cables were supplied by Usha Martin. My team had done this hydraulic motor powered wheeler, then the hydraulic scissor type lifting table. In Switzerland, when I saw the way they are doing, I didn't like it, the way they are doing. So I changed the system completely and we did it in a different manner. This is the way the Swiss people were doing. They are having a huge 5-ton hoist and the crane was being pushed by people 7-8 people pushing it. And then they used to take it out, from here, they used to take the whole cable up on this and they used to take this thing out. And it is too much, it's taking so much of floor space of the shop. And it's a long 300-meter long shop, you can see. Okay. So what I did is just simply this, that I went for a small 1.5-ton hoist. I went for the scissor jack which you saw in the previous slide. That means it's a scissor type of jack which goes up. So what happens that after you put this cable into one cable into this moves out. This is only 1.5 small hoist. You push it out, and then this goes up completely up to this. Okay, it saved the factory space of 2 meter or 300 meter. You can imagine that much of factory space was saved. This is a 675 kilowatt 10-ton bell running furnace which was being imported in the country at the cost of about 1.5 crore each, and it was developed in Usha Martin at 42 lakhs each. This is a steel wire bunching machine developed again first time in India, and those days only in Japan it has been developed. They stole the technology. Stole means what? I mean, I have also stole a lot of things. The things that you see something and develop. You can't take a photograph. Your eye is the camera. You have to see anything and then come back and develop, right? So that's the way I had seen one machine in Japan, just for 3 minutes, then they closed the machine, okay? And that was enough to pick it up, come back to India and develop the design. Now I will show you the next. This is my machine, but this is a complete guard if you see here. It was fully guarded. I was brought to them in front of that. They opened the thing, and before I could have a look at proper thing, they closed it. That's enough. We can't show you anymore, right? Came back to India and developed my machine. And here, the side by side, there's the Italian machine, which failed miserably. This is my machine before. Anyway, the 900-ton wire rope breaking load machine. Handling plates. In India, we used to hand plates like this, So dangerous way of handling things. Plate can fall, accidents happens. For a long time I was thinking how to handle plates properly. This is not the way to handle. And also, when you do it, and the stacking is done like this, the lower plates are never taken out. It's always last in, first out. Right. Okay? And this becomes absolutely rusty. So, I was always thinking we should have something where plates should go vertically. And you should pick up any plate you want straight out. Right? And that actually I could successfully do when I was president of Tepro Systems in Bawal, the factory which I set up when I was a consultant. And then the chairman said, Mr. Roy, you take charge as the president. I said, Baba, bahut kaam ho gaya, mujhe chhod do. Bole, nahi, you take charge as the president. So that time only I solved the problem. And this is the first tilting electropermanent magnet where even up to 40 millimeter plates were being handled. So plates are kept into a rack like this, and you can pick up any one of them by the crane. And after I developed this particular company through whom I got it developed, now they sold so many abroad also. Okay. I joined the JCBL chassis, the bus chassis people in Chandigarh, and I built up this entire line, which is the chassis building line. They were doing only 2 or 3 chassis a month because they are doing hand. People are coming and trying to work on it. That's not the way to do chassis. So since I'm from the design background, so I had helped them in developing a chassis design, complete chassis line. Whole line was built up, and from 2 to 3 chassis, they went to 150 chassis a month. Okay. That's the chassis line. That's the body shop line. So they were doing only 2 to 3, went up to 150 bus chassis per month. and we captured the Bombay market. Tata and Leylands are there in DTC, as you learned in the low floor buses, whereas in Bombay it's all JCB. Maybe going to school bus, you must have seen. That's all built during my time. But this is the way it went off. I joined them somewhere here, and it was just at this level for so many years, just shot up. Same with the invoice values. Now, entrepreneurs are team leaders, right? They're basically team leaders. Team leaders should have some good qualities, right? Now, 6 most important words of a team leader. I admit I made a mistake. People make mistakes, but you admit that you made mistakes. That's a very important thing. 5 most important words. I'm proud of you. That means you say anyway, colleagues, if somebody is working in this thing, oh, I'm very proud of you. That gives so much a boost. Money and all doesn't give that much of a boost. 4 most important words. What's your opinion? You ask the opinion of your colleague or your junior or whatever. 3 most important words, if you please. 2 more important words is thank you. Most important word is you, and the least important word is I. Okay. And a person of professional integrity and all, the people will talk about you like this, that he is human and treats us as human beings. He has no favorites and he doesn't bear any grudges, right? It is easy to talk to him. He listens to you and you can tell that he is listening. Okay? He keeps his word and he is honest. He does not dodge unpleasant issues. There are unpleasant issues, try to, no, let's not talk about it. No, he doesn't dodge. He talks about unpleasant issues but doesn't create unpleasantness. Right? He explains why or else why not. He is fair with his praise as well as criticism, as he criticizes without making an enemy of you. And he is fair to us as well as to the company. He drives himself hard. He himself drives so hard that nobody minds for him to driving somebody else hard. Now I'll come back to the turnaround story of a company. In fact, I had worked about 20 years in R&D, but I was never given the position of the top. I was vice president, right? The president's salary was less than me because, I was senior that way. But I never became a president of the company. I said, what is this? I can do the other thing also. But the management probably thought, no, he is a good engineer, he cannot be a good manager. That was maybe their concept. So I was trying to look for something, and then I got a break to become a CEO of Indo-Sri Lankan joint venture. And from then on, of course, I have become, senior positions in many places. In Sri Lanka, there was a very bad incident with me. I was a suicide bomber, I was almost getting killed. I'll come to that. And in fact, I wrote a book, this is Diploma, and this particular book is with me now. There are about 8-10 copies with me, I'll come to that later. Now, I have described all events of the book, and I'll go very fast onto this because the total time is short, but it's all described in the book. But every incident, what you find in this book are true. It's a true thing, but I've given it to a fiction form, right? Suicide bomber attack in Sri Lanka. I was going behind an Air Force van, and suddenly there was a boom. And that day my driver was not well, so I was driving myself, and we are not military people. Got scared. What's happening? And I found some, car parts flying and all that. What is this? And then those days, military people, they were there every 200-300 meters to Sri Lanka with guns and the sandbags, right? So they immediately rushed in and they cordoned that area. They asked us to get out. And I saw some bodies lying here and there full of blood. And it's a horrible sight, right? And then only I decided to leave Sri Lanka. And my parents they said, no, you come back. My children said, no, you come back. So finally I decided to come back. That's the reason I left Sri Lanka. Otherwise my factory was running, everything was running, it was smooth. Well, I gave an interview for position of a CEO of a company. I've not talked about the company, which company it is, because, as in for obvious reasons. And I have changed the place, I've changed the, characters and everything. So, but the managing director, after he selected me, he told me, Mr. Roy, would you like to see the company? I said, no sir, I don't want to see, I know it's a big company. He said, yes, it's a big company, but then, now I can tell you, it is making about 8 to 10 crore loss every year, last 8 to 9 years. And 3 CEOs could not turn it around. We have tried 3 CEOs so far, they could not turn it around. And we have decided that this time the CEO doesn't do anything, we are going to close down. Would you like to join now? I said, sir, if you have been so frank to tell me that the company is doing so bad, you must be knowing the reason for it. If it is Lal Jhande wala, band kar dijiye. Because they don't need to survive, Close it. If it is not Lal Jhande wala, if it is anything else, any problem in team building, any problem in finance, any problem in engineering, probably I'll be able to help everywhere. He said, no, my workers had never gone into a strike. The entire Bihar had gone into a strike, but my factory had always run. But for some reason or other, we are not able to catch what's happening. And the company is doing loss and loss every year. And 8 to 10 crore every year is not a joke, So I said, okay, I'll take charge. And no matter what's happening, I'll try my level best, what I can do. Okay. So I went back to Sri Lanka and then again came back to take charge. The day I was introduced, the managing director took me for a party. They took me to the company. There was a huge party thrown in my honor. And I found lights, there, drinks, I said, what is happening? So I told the managing director, sir, he told me it's a sinking company. This doesn't look like a sinking company. It looks to be, it's a very good company where we are going in. He said, no, Arun, it's basically not that. It's a tradition in this company that every Friday we have this kind of, Friday evening we got this kind of party and this going on. I said, sir, if you've given me charge, please leave it to me and don't please interfere. You please come anytime you want to come, but let me do the way I want to handle it. Okay. It's a huge company. You can see there's a 75 meter thick plate bending machine, 8 meter vertical boring machine. You can see me standing there. Such a big machine, right? Gear humming machine, you can see what big. Huge. A gear will not come into this room. Such big gears. Large welding fixture. Now workers ran away seeing me in the shop. The first day, I just went into the shop. They ran away. I said, come, why you going away? तो बोलता सर हम लोग को शर्म लगता है. हम लोग कौन चीज का शर्म? बोला हम लोग काम नहीं कर रहे सर. I said, oh my God, these workers, they want to work, and we are not able to give them work. That was the status. So I knew that I don't have a problem, because worker problem becomes one major problem. I found that no, that's not there. There's something else gone. Okay. So I said, okay, it's my duty to get work, because I am the head of the place. Now, when I give you work, when I bring work, those days if you run away, then आप लोग का शर्म होना चाहिए. अभी आप लोग को शर्म करने की जरूरत नहीं है. हल्ला गुल्ला मत कीजिएगा, काट पांच कीजिए, एक जगह बैठे रहिए. एकदम बैठा था, कुछ काम नहीं था. Huge workshop, huge, not a ton sound. Can you imagine? Then I thought, okay, let me meet my general managers. There are about 16 deputy general manager and above in that company, and I had 3 general managers of 3 different divisions. So I thought, okay, let me meet my general managers. And it had a factory on one side, adjacent building. Then there's a road, and then comes another building where the CEO and the finance and the marketing and the engineering, that thing was there. So I took some papers to discuss with the general managers, and he straight went to the general manager materials room. And he just stood up, he's just shocked. He just said, sir. I said, what's wrong? He said, Rama, what's wrong? No, why you come here? You could have called me. I said, yes, I could have called you. But supposing I call you, and you don't know what subject I'm talking, what subject I'm asking for, you come to me, I will say, Mr. Verma, what about this? Sir, the file is in my room. So you'll again go back to your room and I'll be sitting there with the problem. I said, what's wrong? If I bring the paper to you, you're sitting there, you turn back, take the file and show me, sir, this is the thing. Within 5 minutes I do my job. Well, and then I go to Mr. Nankolia, who is the head of production, go to Mr. Sinha, who is the head of quality, my job is done. Within 15 minutes I finished. All of you are in your own chairs, right? And you are not disturbed, right? He said, sir, aisa kabhi hua nahi hai. I mean, it's the first time the CEO has come into my room. So I told Mr. Verma, stop it, forget about it. And not only me, you should also move out from your table, from your this thing. Go to the shop. I said, Mr. Verma, I will go to the shop and talk to the worker level, lowest. But mind you, I will not undermine your authority or line of command. If I see something wrong in your plant, I will come back and tell you that Mr. Verma, I went to your shop and I found such things wrong. You are the person who should go and see the things to be sorted out. If I do for yourself, you will lose respect in front of your workers. Okay? So, nothing stops an organization faster than people who believe that the way you worked yesterday is the best way. Right? This is the position when I joined the company. You can see it was just going down. Right? I joined in October 2000. Already 7 months gone into that financial year. And it was just going down. Going downhill, if you imagine that yourself going downhill and you have to suddenly stop and come back, it's so difficult it is. Because if you try to slide down. So a company going down, to bring it up, I have faced it myself, I know how difficult it is. Right? So I tried to analytically find out what is wrong in the company. I found there's a huge bankroll. There's a big supplier debts. No order. No salary. Salaries were not being paid. Such a horrible condition it was. Bad time management. Overtime work. All the jobs they are doing in overtime. Very low efficiency of work. Lack of teamwork. Very low morale. That's the thing, that's the status I found in the company. Right? Now to arrest the downfall and take the company up, some step-by-step managerial solutions were done. Okay. So all these are there in this book and I will go fast through this. Teamwork, good HR policies, information sharing, attitudinal changes, accepting challenge and taking risks, cost-saving measures, right pricing strategies, and inventory management. Then I found there are some people who are put in a very wrong place. A person experienced in one particular thing, he has been put in a different, division, different workplace. It was terrible. So after studying the people for some time, I shifted some people, who were right person for the right job. Then we cleansed the first order of 375 lakhs. Each one of them is a big story, and if I go on with the story, it will take a long time. So I'm just going fast. I gave a lot of talks on leadership, team building, time management, attitudinal changes, sharing companies, things and all. And that year, instead of going down like this, we just slightly came up because there was only 5 months left for the thing. 7 months are already gone, right? Next, the ladies club and social activities. My wife was the chairperson of the ladies group and all that. And what we did was, shading mangoes. I had a huge bungalow. I had about 15 mango trees in the bungalow. You can imagine, 15 mango trees. And all the mangoes were there. My wife said that want to redistribute. Then, the general manager personnel said, no, sir, don't do it. I said, why? What's the problem? These are not my trees. These are the company's trees. So, share it with the workers, what's wrong? No. I said, am I writing a contract? Then every year I'll give them so much mango. And mango comes one season, next season it doesn't come. Okay. So, it is like that, we give it. So, sharing mangoes. Holi was played separately. I said, no, it will be placed in my bungalow. They said, your lawns will get spoiled. I said, to hell with the lawn. Companies come first. So, let us group together and play Holi. Chhat Puja, that side Chhat Puja is very important. donating clothes to the needy leper patients. My wife took them to the nearby leper patients, so that ladies were having their meetings and what we call weekly kitty party or whatever. He said, please, my wife said, please, जाके थोड़ा leper लोग को, you don't give torn clothes, good clothes, wash them up, iron them, give them. And they said, ma'am, nobody taught us like this. We should have purchased some new clothes and given them. Making soft toys, celebrating birthdays of national leaders. That was also not being done. I said, what is this? Us time Tagore birthday aa raha tha. I said, Rabindranath is not Bengali. He is not Indian. He is an international figure. Unka birthday celebration mein aap log kitna hichak aata. So we started, Patel, Jayanti, Netaji Jayanti, Rabindranath, all that we started off. 360 evaluation. All of you must be knowing what it is. So my general manager marketing, I found that he is the first person, exactly at 5, he will take his bag and go. Whereas his youngsters are still, working. I could find in the late. So I said, there is something wrong here. There was no order. And the general manager marketing is just walking away. And whereas he is an IIM graduate, and he is an engineer plus IIM graduate. Knowledge-wise, I have talked to him earlier, he is a fantastic knowledge. And he was 1 year older than me, But there was no order. So I said, no, I have to do something. I thought about in my thing, if I really try to do this 360 degree and if he gets upset and he leaves the company, we will lose because he is a good man. If I don't do it, no order is coming. So after a lot of deliberating in my mind, I said, no, I should do it. All that story is in the book, how it has happened. Pricing strategy, marginal cost pricing, clearing sticky debts, which was there, taking small cost saving measures like energy efficient lamps, like these were the existing system and the new system. And in terms of, if you see the lumen intensity, how much up it is than what it was. Taking small cost saving measures as marking and cutting plates without wastages. I found in the shop, plates are being cut. And I looked at it, I said, what is this? So much of wastage is happening in the plates. Because there is no plan. The designers are not planning how to cut it. I'll show you a typical example. They were cutting like this from a plate, this particular sheet size, right? Only 23 pieces. I said, stop. The next one, please mark the way I'm telling you. This is the way I asked in the mark. 40 pieces came out. And not only 40 pieces came out, these squares which is there, which is left out, would be also used for something else. Right? So then I gave an instruction to my designers, don't leave it to the shop. You have to give that this particular shape you have to cut out, and this is a shape design, how to do it. So that changed the whole thing. Cutting guest house expenses, good design practices, training shop supervisors to use inspection instruments. Now, the shop supervisors I found, they run the machine, then they stop. Why? Because they are waiting for the inspection person to come and check one dimension. They didn't know the measurement this thing. With one year caliper and all, they didn't know. So we're waiting. So what is happening? The costly machine is waiting. You can see the size of the machines. Such a machine waiting for about 15-20 minutes, you can imagine what's the cost. So I trained the shop floor supervisors in using of measuring instruments. I said, look, a critical dimension when you come, there you stop. Otherwise, you continue. Cricket match, cricket captain and CFO. I gave an example that's there in the book, that a cricket captain can be compared with a CFO. Right? He can change the direction. Tackling the dreaded union leader. This man came to kill me. With 35 people, barged into my room and almost trying to, bash me up. How I dealt the situation and how mother from kidney problems. Those were also there when I was heading such a company. Correcting the auditorium acoustics. For 35 years, that auditorium was not used because you can't hear. Okay. When I was doing a function because of Retd Jayanti, and it was done on the, not Gandhi Jayanti it was. So it was done in the open because auditorium we cannot. And then suddenly rain started coming and my whole function was spoiled. Then I told my, the doctor who was the head of the, all the thing, I said, look, we have to do in auditorium. He said, sir, but it cannot. So many experts have come, it does not work. I said, let us see. So there is a story again, how it was corrected. So it was corrected so well that even now if you go to that company, you will find in the auditorium they are doing everything. Relationship with the project division was very bad. It has a project division and a product division. That I improved. Then we got a large order of building the world's largest apron factory. World's largest. This is not India's, not Asia's. It was the world's largest apron factory. Gross sales again went up. Because we are here, we went up here. But then I had to do some inevitable manpower cutting. I found that if I do not cut down the manpower now, the company cannot be taken out further. So I had to do it. Reviving the Bokaro Club, which was one of the best clubs those days in Eastern India. Clinching 350 lakhs order from IMC. And then we went up here. You can see it was falling down like this. Company was taken up. And if you see order values, it was all at a low level. It went up to that per year. Average machine utilization went up. Then your average breakdown came down. Postage expenses came down. But my health also came down. Along with this. Company went up, but I went down. I had developed high pressure and this thing, and even with my medicine, my pressure was 110, 200, Then I thought, no, I should come out. But my parents were not well. I am not well. One day something happens to the company, to me, and it will be terrible for the family. So I decided to step down. The chairman said no. In fact, managing director says the first application the chairman rejected. He sent back to me. He said, no, I want to talk to her. Anyway, all that is a story again. But I said, sorry, please हमको retire करने दीजिए, otherwise हमको दिया आपका इधर ही मर जाएगा. So anyway, I retired. I always believe to lead the people and recognize talents, right? Reward them by giving more responsibilities, but once they're empowered, leave them. Slowly leave them. Let them do their job, And they should feel that they have done the problem. They have solved the problem. If you are with them all the time, they'll feel, oh, sir, to tha. Just move out, because they have understood now. Let them do the job. And you will find that they'll be happy, that they have solved the problem. Only then the ownership happens. Right? In the words of Lao Tzu, who was a great Chinese philosopher, to lead people, walk beside them. As for the best leaders, the people don't notice their existence. Because they are mixed up with the group. You don't see them, in fact. Next best, the people honor and praise. And the next best, the people fear. Out of fear, they follow him. They don't love him. They don't respect him. Right? The next best people hate. And the best leader's work is done. What does the people say? Oh, we did it ourselves. Right? That's what Lao Tzu had said. So please leave nothing but your footprints. Now, of course, I teach poor children on the road because I find that I have done my whole life in making rich people richer. But today, I would like to take absolutely ground level people to bring them. If I can do at least 10, 12 children and make them grow, like my wife had done. She had taken 30, 35 children, Adivashi children, when she was the principal of DAV, आज से काफी दिन पहले 35, 40 years back, when there was nobody to take care of those people. And those children have got their graduation, have got their masters, and they've got jobs and all that. And today in Facebook, on her birthday, is flooded with so many these things. You can't imagine. So, this is my wife, standing there asking me for children to pray and all. This is one student I got it admitted in Alpine Convent. In class 3, he came first in the class with the elite class. Rest all are elite, only one from Jhopri. Okay. He came again first in the class 4, he is in 5 now, and he is still coming first. Teach them with laptops and projectors. My wife there teaching them. I got a screen, in fact a government primary, earlier I was on the road, but now I'm teaching in a government primary school. They gave me a room where I got those black screens, projectors and all, and it's a comfortable way of, teaching. Class 3, 4, 5 I'm teaching there. I teach them all maths and all that, So this is the book, a lot of editorial reviews. That's it. The book is available at 370. I get some authors copies, which is given at a lower rate, and I give it at the same rate that I have gone, because nobody makes money out of writing books. But if your book goes to many people's hand, you feel happy. Somebody says, "Oh, Mr. Raj, that was a good book." That's the only gain, only the plus point what you get. So I've got some books at home. I've got about 10 books with me here, something at my home also. So anybody wants a book, you can take it at 250.